What if the single most terrifying thing, being utterly alone with yourself, was also the only path to becoming unbreakable? For many, true silence is a void to be escaped. Phones, screens, and constant company are the shields we raise against the profound quiet where we might actually meet ourselves. The great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius governed an empire of noise, yet declared his soul the most profound sanctuary. His peace was internal, constructed in stillness. Today, we confront 10 stark truths about purposeful solitude. This isn't about loneliness. This is about the forge where your character is tempered. If you're ready to build something within that nothing outside can shatter, then stay. Like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset Mastery, and let's begin. Truth 1. Solitude removes the costume. We perform. For colleagues, for family, for the digital gallery of social media, layer upon layer, until the authentic self is buried under expectation. Solitude is the backstage area where the costume comes off. No audience, no applause, no judgment. Here, the truth emerges, often uncomfortable. Is your career a borrowed script? Have you made yourself small to fit the spaces others provided? The dreams you chase, are they truly yours? This confrontation can shatter a fragile identity. Most flee back to the noise, but staying, that is where you meet who you've been all along. The Stoics called it living in accordance with your true nature. You cannot do that while wearing a mask. This moment of raw honesty is the bedrock. Everything genuine is built upon it. Comment, I remove the mask if you're willing. Truth 2. Strength is forged in the silent crucible. There's a common misconception. Strength is loud, visible, muscular. Real resilience is quiet. It's what remains when every external prop is kicked away. Seneca wrote of being polished by friction, yet we pad our lives with comfort and wonder why we dull under pressure. When you constantly lean on others, you outsource your stability. What happens in the dark night of the soul when no one can answer your call? Solitude is the crucible. Every minute you sit with discomfort instead of distracting yourself, you add carbon to your steel. Every fear faced alone, every decision made without a committee lays another brick in your inner citadel. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming solid, so when life's inevitable storms hit, you are not a leaf in the wind. You are the trunk. Affirm your commitment below. I forge myself. Truth 3. In the quiet, your inner compass realigns. The world is a cacophony of opinions. Parents, peers, influencers, culture, all broadcasting what you should want, be, and do. Your own voice becomes a whisper, drowned out. Solitude is the soundproof room. Here, the static fades. That quiet inner voice, your true navigator, can finally be heard. It knows what energizes you versus what drains you. It knows your dormant gifts. Your purpose isn't found in the crowd's roar, but in your soul's whisper. Most live on autopilot, following inherited maps toward destinations they never chose. They wake up decades later, successful and empty. Why? They never consulted their own compass. Get quiet. Ask, what do I want? Not what you should want. The answer that arises, that is your true north. The Stoics practiced this deep introspection to separate societal programming from personal truth. Your clarity is waiting in the silence you avoid. Type, I listen within. Truth 4. Solitude reveals love, not need. Let's be direct. That desperate clinging, that anxiety when someone doesn't text back, that feeling of incompleteness without a partner, that isn't love. That is fear in disguise. Epictetus spoke of freedom as the supreme goal. You are not free if you need another person to feel whole. That is dependency. Solitude forces you to meet your own emotional needs, to validate yourself, to Become your own source of contentment. From that place of wholeness, everything changes. You no longer seek relationships to fill a void, but to share your abundance. You stop looking for a savior and start looking for a compatriot. This is the difference between a bond that drains and one that elevates. Healthy love is the choice of two complete people, not the merger of two halves. Are your connections born of freedom or fear? Reflect and comment, I am complete. Truth 5. Your escapes crumble in the silence. Try this. Sit for 5 minutes with nothing, no device, no snack, no noise. Observe the panic, the itch to scroll, to consume, to do. That is not boredom, that is the revelation of your addictions. We live in an age of sanctioned escape. Solitude strips those options away, leaving you face to face with what you've been fleeing. Unprocessed grief, abandoned dreams, quiet disappointments. Your phone, your streaming, your busyness, they are often just painkillers. The Stoics practiced ruthless self-audit. They questioned every comfort, not to suffer, but to be free of unconscious slavery. Once you see the escape route for what it is, you can choose to stay and face what's there. That choice is the beginning of real power. Declare it, I choose to stay. Truth 6. Your true capacity is an alone discovery. You have consistently underestimated yourself. Why? Because you've always had a net. Someone to call, a guide to follow, a crowd to blend into. Every time you outsource a solution, you rob yourself of a lesson in your own resourcefulness. Solitude removes the net. In that space, you are forced to solve, to endure, to invent. And a remarkable thing happens. You discover capabilities you never knew you housed. You never learn your own weight until you must stand alone. This is what the Stoics meant by voluntary discomfort. It's not masochism, it's strength training for the soul. Each challenge met alone expands your known universe of potential. That quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can handle things, that is built in solitude, not in committee. You are far more capable than your comfortable life has required you to be. Truth 7. You design your life in the blank spaces. Are you living by design or by default? Most fall into the latter. They take the expected job, follow the well-worn path, accept the relationships that appear. Epictetus urged us to first decide who we wish to be, then act accordingly. Solitude provides the blank canvas for that first crucial decision. Away from the noise of should, you can ask, what life would I draw if I were the artist? This is intentional living. Maybe the corporate ladder holds no allure. Maybe your current relationship is mere habit. The courage to admit this only comes in stillness. The Stoics were architects of their character and, by extension, their destiny. They didn't let life happen to them. You have that same power, but it requires the quiet space to blueprint your existence. Your life is your ultimate creation. Design it. Affirm, I am the architect. Truth 8. Your circle clarifies in absence. Who truly earns a place in your life? You'll know when you step back. In the comfort of your own company, you see relationships with new clarity. Which ones energize? Which ones deplete out of obligation or history? Seneca advised keeping company only with those who improve you. Solitude gives you the strength to apply that filter. When you are no longer afraid of being alone, you stop tolerating connections that diminish you. You stop pouring energy into bottomless cups. This isn't about purging people, it's about curation. You begin to attract higher caliber connections because you are no longer broadcasting desperation. You invest deeply in the few, not thinly in the many. Your time and spirit are finite. Guard them. Who makes your short list? Comment, I curate my circle. Truth 9. Solitude is your storm rehearsal. Hardship is not a possibility, it is a guarantee. Loss, betrayal, failure, they come for everyone. When they arrive for you, your support network may falter. Your circumstances will crumble. What remains? Only what you have built inside. Solitude is your disaster drill. It's where you practice holding your own pain, sitting with uncertainty, and finding your footing on shifting ground. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, wasn't pessimism. It was stress testing their inner fortitude so they wouldn't break when reality struck. The storms of life don't ask for your readiness, they just arrive. The prepared aren't lucky. They've done the lonely work in advance. Build your foundation in the calm so you can weather any squall. Write it now. I am my own shelter. Truth 10. Your highest self emerges in the aloneness. The ultimate transformation from who you are to who you are meant to be requires a cocoon. That cocoon is solitude. Not the performative self you present to the world, but the raw material of your potential waits here. Epictetus linked freedom to self-mastery. That mastery is a private conversation, a daily discipline done without witnesses. It's examining every belief, challenging every comfort, and choosing growth when it's easier to stay the same. The gap between your current and potential self closes in these quiet, intentional hours. Most die with their music still inside, not for lack of talent, but for fear of the silent practice room. Your masterpiece, your unbreakable character, is composed in solitude. The world will meet that person later, but you must build them now, alone. So these are the 10 truths. This is the invitation to stop fleeing and start building. The person you seek, resilient, clear, purposeful, whole, is not found in another's approval or in the crowd's noise. They are waiting in the quiet you've been avoiding. The Stoics revered solitude, not as escape, but as the essential workshop of the soul. Your journey to becoming unbreakable begins with a single brave decision: to be alone with yourself, to listen, to build, and to transform. If this path calls to you, hit like. It signals your commitment. Share this with someone who needs this message. Subscribe to Stoic Mindset Mastery. Your highest self is not a future fantasy. It is a present possibility forged in the purposeful solitude you choose today. Seal your pact. Comment, I build in the quiet.